desperately wanted to be liked.
I believe in myself.
Here's the thing. On the surface, Victoria Beckham and Meghan Markle seem to have a lot in common. Both constantly in the spotlight, navigating headlines good and bad, running Netflix ventures, building their own brands, and married to high-profile men. One a football icon, the other a prince. But when you strip away the glitz and compare their journeys, the differences are striking. Victoria Beckham has been called many things, from ice queen to classy and elegant, a woman who projects control and poise. Meghan Markle, by contrast, is often labeled the Duchess of Drama. Yet despite the labels, both women claim authenticity, striving to be real and honest in a world that constantly scrutinizes them. The contrast isn't just in perception, it's in how the public and media respond to them, and the kind of influence they actually wield.
Seeing me, I'm being very honest. Really, really honest.
You can pinch me, I'm real.
I just want people to know that I'm a real person.
Today isn't about gossip, it's about perspective. As you watch this, you'll see the real contrast between appearing authentic and genuine versus coming across as hollow or performative. So go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and give that hype button some love below. Let's dive in. Both women talk about hard work, but it won't take long before the differences become clear.
Work. And there's been ups and there's been downs, but I never expected it to be any different. I never expected this to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Kept my head down, focused, worked hard.
Victoria Beckham has spent more than 20 years building her fashion empire. She's deeply hands-on, involved in every stage, from designing collections to overseeing their presentation, ensuring that every detail aligns with her vision.
This is where the magic happens. These are the boards at the moment, but a lot can change right up until the minute that you put the
literally before they walk out.
Yeah, I'm just creating what I have never been able to find. I'm very, very involved. I've never been someone that just likes to put my name on things. There's nothing wrong with that. There's room for everybody. But for me, it's very important that I'm involved every single step of the way, not just from the idea, but I get in the labs. I obsess over the detail. I've been working on my brand for almost 2 decades. And it's been a real roller coaster ride. It hasn't been easy at all. I've never gone into this thinking I know everything. I'm the best at everything. You know, I've been a sponge over the years and really enjoyed learning from the best people in the industry.
Victoria Beckham has spent years steadily building her credibility, all while navigating public preconceptions. Despite being a celebrity and the wife of a football star, she worked to establish herself as a serious, respected figure in the fashion world.
What people were going to think, you know, there was a lot of raised eyebrows, or those that could raise their eyebrows. Pop star who's married to a footballer, really going to do a clothing line? You know, a lot of people had preconceptions.
Victoria's persistence, passion, and dedication are evident, and people genuinely respect her talent. Meghan, on the other hand, talks about working hard too, but the way she presents it often comes across as scripted and rehearsed rather than authentic.
So hard, right? The moment that everything sells out, it doesn't mean that we're done. Yeah, it means we're working on replenishment and what are the next SKUs and what's the next tranche of products and what's the timing on that and writing the newsletters and writing the social media captions and making sure that all that feels in line and what's the cadence.
Victoria's speech has a measured cadence, deliberate, confident, and easy to follow. Meghan, by contrast, speaks rapidly, often repeating herself, which can make it feel like she's trying too hard to persuade the audience. When discussing her brand, she veers into casual, almost performative language, like talking about dancing rather than using precise business terminology, which undercuts the professional image she's trying to project.
And it's just a constant dance. And I think in any business, you're dancing.
All the time.
All the time.
Dancing.
Oh, you could choreograph it as well as you want, but at a certain point, you're going to have to freestyle a little.
Victoria and Meghan both claim to have worked hard, but the way they present themselves tells a very different story. Victoria comes across grounded and credible, while Meghan's delivery often feels rehearsed and performative. Now let's move to the first of 3 key questions they were asked. What are you proudest of? Their answers reveal even more about their contrasting approaches and how authenticity, or the lack of it, resonates with the audience.
Having had a success at Paris Fashion Week is such a big deal for me. You know, for 3 years we haven't had a show. We've been restructuring the business and the design team and the atelier. And to have that comeback moment in Paris, that's a big deal. And that has been my dream for longer than I can ever remember. So that's my proudest moment so far.
And the show was incredible.
You're most proud of in your career when you think about everything that you've done today?
In my career?
Yeah.
Investing in myself. And I loved being able to have a portfolio, female founders. But I do think it takes a little bit of courage to bet on yourself. And that's felt really good.
Here's where the contrast gets even sharper. Victoria Beckham answers with reflection and practical insight, offering advice grounded in experience and lessons learned from her career and life. Meghan Markle, by contrast, delivers a response that feels more scripted, repeating phrases and ideas she's used before, leaning on emotion and personal narrative rather than actionable insight. The difference in tone and authenticity is hard to miss.
I was always very shy, very self-conscious. You know, I used to really struggle with my skin, and I've always used makeup almost like a shield, you know,
To protect.
to I suppose to hide behind when I was younger. So I was never very confident, always quite shy. So I would just tell myself to just relax, enjoy the journey, which I have done. Work hard at school is key, because, you know, when you're running your own business, your education is very, very important. Never be afraid to ask questions.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would say that life is full of surprises. And also that, you know, life is short. And I really believe that no matter what anyone is going through, that if you are able to say that, yes, this is going to pass, or this is amazing and let's really embrace it.
Is there anything you do different?
I said, if I am lucky enough to come out of this pandemic and do a show, I want to really, really enjoy it. Because in the past, when I was doing the big shows, I was so stressed, and you work so hard and you don't sleep and you drive yourself crazy about all the little details. I mean, I think people would be very, very surprised if they saw the amount of work and the attention to detail that goes into creating a collection and a show. So for me, moving forward, it's about working hard and being honest and true to myself, but really, really having fun and living in the moment, being present as well.
If you could choose one thing for people to know the truth about you, what would that one thing be?
No one's ever asked me that. You know, I think when I sit with it for a second here, I just want people to know that I'm a real person.
The contrast is stark. Victoria Beckham demonstrates self-awareness. She acknowledges missteps, reflects on insecurities, and offers thoughtful lessons from her past. Meghan Markle, by contrast, frames everything externally. Mistakes are everyone else's. Failure is a concept she dismisses, and accountability is absent. The way she positions herself, always right, always successful, suggests a strong self-focus, which some may interpret as narcissistic. It's a clear difference between grounded reflection and self-centered justification.
I want everything that I'm thinking about, that I have poured my heart and soul into, it's not just jam. So I loved that it was winning all these blind taste tests. And I loved that people loved it. Oh, I was making that in my kitchen. That's how you'd feel if you're at my house. Thank you.
That pattern is consistent regardless of the topic. The focus often shifts back to her own perspective, achievements, or grievances. It's a classic self-referential loop. Every story becomes me, 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 which reinforces the public perception of self-centeredness. The repetition makes it almost predictable, and it contrasts sharply with figures like Victoria Beckham, who can reflect outwardly while acknowledging personal responsibility.
Compliment women anyway, you know, even if they're not wearing something of mine, you know, just because I always think that's really important. And Roland mentored me, you know, he was never involved with the design side of things, but he introduced me to a team of people that could support me. And so he really was the reason why I'm here now. He was so kind and generous with his time and his advice. So it was Roland really that gave me the tools to turn a dream into a reality.
Exactly. Victoria Beckham's approach builds credibility and trust. She elevates others, acknowledges contributions, and shows humility alongside ambition. In contrast, Meghan's focus on herself reinforces a perception of self-centeredness, which can alienate audiences over time. The difference isn't just in what they say, it's in how they make people feel. One draws respect and admiration outward, the other demands attention inward.
And I have an incredible amount of talent within my team.
That's a key point. Victoria Beckham's charisma comes from her ability to shine while letting others shine too. By giving credit, acknowledging her team, mentors, and collaborators, she demonstrates humility and emotional intelligence, qualities that draw people in rather than push them away. It creates a sense of authenticity and relatability, which is the opposite of narcissism, where the focus is entirely self-centered.
With people around me.
I'm not going to say I'm doing this all on my own, Robin. I mean, I'm very involved every step of the way, but I have a great team of people around me, helping me